Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commenttary Hub.
Gets headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Zaka takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Hello and welcome to the Commenttary Hub's coverage of the Club World Cup clash between Juventus and Manchester City's alternative commentary with you here this evening. Kick-off at the Camp World Stadium is at 8 o'clock this evening as we have the 2 out of 16 bound teams in Group G of this year's Club World Cup clash. On match day 3 is Juventus from Italy battling and Manchester City of England battle out for the top spot in Group G. It's been so far so good for Juventus in the Club World Cup as high-scoring victories against Al Ain and Wydad have strengthened their claim to be crowned victors at this year's tournament. They lead Group G ahead of matchday 3 Kiste of just a single goal and could be deemed likely for more success here thanks to their current 7-match unbeaten run across all competitions, 5 wins and 2 draws. The opponents Manchester City remain on their tail and come into this clash after recording a pair of wins in Group G, albeit by a goal less than their opposition overall. Those Club World Cup results mean that Pep Guardiola's reign as Club World Cup champions have now just lost one of their last 15 matches across all competitions, 11 wins, 3 draws in there as well, keeping an impressive 6 clean sheets across the last 8. Is a big clash at the Club World Cup this evening. It's Juventus against Manchester City, and all the action is coming up next. Welcome back to the Commenttary Hub's coverage of the Club World Cup clash. It's Juventus against Manchester City this evening, and we'll bring you the coverage of the Club World Cup clash, which kicks off very, very shortly. Let's bring you up to date then with the two teams ahead of kickoff, starting with Juventus this evening. Di Gregorio starts in goal. Kalulu, Savona, Kelly across the back. Costa, Locatelli the captain, McKennie, Kostic in midfield. Gonzalez, Koopmeiners, and Dusan Vlahovic lead the line. Conceição, Yildiz, Milik, and Douglas Luiz also on the bench, along with Kolo Muani and Thuram for Juventus. As now then for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, he lines up with Edison in goal. Is Nunes, Kanji, Diaz, and Nuri across the back. Rodri in front of the back four. Savinho, Bernardo, Reinders, and Doku behind Omar Mamouche. Amongst those on the bench for Manchester City's John Stones, Nathan Ake, Erling Haaland, Ilkay Gundogan, Josko Gvardiol, Ryan Cherki, Abdulkar Kuzinov, Phil Foden amongst the bench for the citizens today against Juventus, against the old lady in Juventus. Kick-off then very much fast approaching for this game today. Who will come out on top in this big game today? We'll bring you the key officials very, very shortly as we're about to get this game off and underway any second now. We'll bring you the kick-off for this game as we're about to get this match off and underway in the Club World Cup clash between Juventus and Manchester City. It'll be Juventus to kick us off, attacking the goal away to my left-hand side in the first half, and we're now off and underway in the game between Juventus and Manchester City at the Club World Cup in the game taking place in Orlando this evening. Juventus against Manchester City is the team, as is Juventus on the front foot early on, but Turku has won the ball back early on there from Manchester City, and they can come away with possession. Can the citizens as a ball played down the far side by Nunes, looking through the run of Savinho, who can't get there as Gregorio comes out to clear the ball away. The officials tonight: Commenttary Hub from France is the match referee, Nicolas Danos, Benjamin Pages and Istan Kovacs are the assistants, and fourth official respectively, Jim Brissard along with Hernan Mastraglo, the VAR team tonight. Big game, this one, for two sides of from Europeans' top leagues in Italy and England respectively. As we're about to see how this game gets underway, you can see the teams down at the bottom of your screen with the subs at the side of them as well, and it's really good to have you along with us for this game today between Juventus, the old lady, and Manchester City in the Club World Cup. Russ Vernon, your man, getting you through the action for this game tonight, is an early throw on my left-hand side for Juventus, which will be taken by left wing-back Kostic. Gets the ball down the line, put out a play by Nunes for Manchester City, for yet another throw to Juventus inside the opening 2 minutes. Kostic again out there taking a throw, and he's the left wing-back today for Juventus as they play with the back three, including former Nuxo man Lloyd Kelly, and the back there also played for Bournemouth did Lloyd Kelly, as Juventus just get back in numbers as City will look to come forward with possession. As Rodri taking a bit of thing out of the early pressure from Juventus, as City will try to build it from the back with Manuel Akanji out to this near side, and Nuri infield to Rodri, who turns and across there to Bernardo, back to Ruben Diaz, and into Rodri now inside the centre circle, onto Ruben Diaz, back into Rodri once more, back, who plays it back to Diaz, and across there to Manuel Akanji, who takes a touch and plays it back into Rodri, back to Diaz, all right to the far side of Mateus Nunes. Bernardo Silva was out there too, and it's Rodri now with possession for Manchester City, just in front of the City. To the far side there, and Bernardo. How wide is Savinho? Delivers a cross into the penalty area. Mamouche is up there, breaks into the penalty area. City trying to all over the play. That was Reinders into Doku. Doku turns away well. Plays it down the line for Nuri. Wonderful acquisition from Wolves. Nuri cross into the back post. Saved by the feet of the goalkeeper. Bounces, rebounds around and deflects behind for a corner. And Manchester City almost take the lead. I think he's gone out for a corner. Has he gone out for a goal? King needs to watch this again. But City did really, really well out there. Nuri with the cross, headed by Bernardo Silva. Saved. Comes back to Bernardo Silva. Deflects wide. And does he deflect wide off his teammate? Gregorio there with a superb stop by his feet. Well, the offside flag is up in the end against Bernardo Silva, and somehow I don't know how that could be. That's an offside. It didn't look offside to me. but the offside flag was up anyways. We played 4 minutes of this big clash in the stadium here in Orlando this evening. It's Juventus 0, Manchester City 0. If you're just joining us here on the commentary, Russ Vernon getting you through the action for this game this evening. Keep you up to date. I'll keep you up to date at half time and full time with the other game in Group G this evening for you. Wydad and Al Ain as Man City win a free kick. I think it was an handball there by Dusan Vlahovic as Nicholas Jones, one of our talented commentators, is on, who says Orlando, home to Walt Disney World. That is correct, Nicholas. Orlando's home of Disney World as well, so good research there from our very talented commentator. Not just a commentator, he's a researcher for different things, historical things, or things where the games are being played. Likes to tell us these things. Does our Nick, and we're really pleased to have him on board with us to give us those situations, to keep us in check as well. So sometimes, if needs be, he's a really good commentator in his own right, is Nicholas Jones, and I've got to say, he's a really top man as well. And Nicholas is a really good broadcaster in his own right too. As we see Manchester City against Juventus against Man City this evening. We played just over towards 6 minutes on the clock. It remains goalless between the two sides as City look to try and cause a few problems early on, as so does Juventus in this game. This evening it remains Manchester City, Juventus 0, Man City 0. If you're just tuning into us for the very first time this evening, 6 minutes on the clock. As it stands, Juventus finishing top, City finishing in second, Wydad should I say in third, Al Ain in bottom. Wydad, I think they've just taken an early lead in the other match in this group tonight, and they have after just 6 minutes. Wydad 1, Al Ain 0. We'll keep you updated with any of the other that game's going on this evening, and with the top two of these two, and they've already qualified for the next round, and just to see who finishes top and who comes second in Group G. Will it be Juventus to finish top and City to finish second, or will it be vice versa, as we see Juventus with the ball on this near side through Kalulu, who gets the ball down the line looking towards Costa and Gonzalez, but the ball went out of play. City with the throw-in. Kalulu there played really well against Wydad in the last game for Juventus. And there is Ruben Diaz across the far side of Nunes. Infield to Rodri, whose first involvement in the starting lineup since his ACL injuries, come back off of the bench in a few games, but first start for the Spanish international in the midfield for Manchester City today since that injury. As Diaz finds Kanji. Kanji will look forward, will he? No. Goes back instead to Ederson here, as Man City just keep possession well. He's coming up towards around about 8 minutes played in the game out here in Orlando, the Camping World Stadium in Orlando, where Juventus taking on Manchester City, and it remains 0-0. Can City get the opening goal here? Here's Doku out wide into the path there of Nouri, who's looked good so far in his early City career. It's his early days, joined this summer from Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he's a fans' favourite there, including one of our very own Kieran Riley, who's a big fan of Ryan Nouri. As City will with the ball into the penalty area for Savinho. It breaks in towards Bernardo Silva. Diaz is there. Wide from Savinho to Nunes. Inside to Rodri. Rodri across to the far side, and then Nunes into Doku. And Jeremy Doku has scored. And Manchester City lead. It's number 11. Jeremy Doku with the goal. And Manchester City have opened the scoring inside 9 minutes here. And Manchester City are leading in the Club World Cup through Jeremy Doku, and he is celebrating after just 9 minutes. And that is a start that Pep Guardiola and Manchester City would have wanted after just 9 minutes to take the lead. It's Juventus 0, Man City 1. It's well taken from Manchester City. Brilliant ball from Nuri into Jeremy Doku, goes inside Kalulu and just finishes off into the bottom corner. Nothing the goalkeeper could really do about that one, but Jeremy Doku says, "Wham bam, thank you ma'am," as he puts City into the lead inside 9 minutes in this game this evening. And it's Juventus 0, Man City 1. Jeremy Doku with the opening goal of the game after just 9 minutes in the Club World Cup. Juventus equalised straight away. The Carter's Dusan Vlahovic in there with the tame effort. We was too near the goalkeeper in the end, as it remains 0-0 between 1-0 to Manchester City in this early exchanges. And a well taken goal from Jeremy Doku as well. 9 minutes on the clock when Doku pulled that ball into the back of the net for Manchester City. Set up by Ryan Nuri on his second start for Manchester City, I believe. This is for Nuri, a left back. And Doku with the goal. And Juventus have just equalised. Just as we're talking about how Nuri has started off well for Manchester City. Coon Miners down the other end has cancelled the early goal out and has given Juventus the leveller. And we're back to square one. Level pegging, 7 points each in the group. And Juventus now are back on level terms in the end there. And that's a fantastic, well taken goal from Coon Miners. And is well taken in the end on 11 minutes for Coon Miners. And Manchester City are being pegged back. And it's Manchester City who are now being pegged back. It's Juventus 1, Manchester City 1 is the scoreline here in this game. And fast start to the game. Goal on 9 minutes through Doku. Just 2 minutes later, Coon Miners has levelled things up for Juventus. Is 1-1 now here in Orlando. A fast-paced start to the game with goals for either side early on in this game. It remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 1. Juventus top in the group as it stands. City coming second. And Juventus, the old lady, they have a never say die attitude as City come forward with possession through Savinho into Marmouche into the side of the penalty area. Marmouche holds up the player well. Doku's over on that far side. So he gets it now to Nunes. Infield to Bernardo Silva. In Rodri Awat Nuri. And Nuri goes back to Akanji. Now into Ruben Dias. Dias will look up and try and bring the ball forward for Manchester City. Into Rodri now. Rodri. Good ball into Reinders. Awad to Nuri. Nuri, the former Wolves man, starting his career really, really well here at the Manchester City. Reinders with possession. Rolls it across there to Bernardo. Out wide from Bernardo into Nunes. Back in field it goes to Diaz. Diaz chips the ball in towards the penalty area, looking towards Omar Mamouche. And it's put out there by Savon. Out for a throw, and it's a good bit of play there. Savannah with the clearance. Nicolo Savannah with that clearance away. Manchester City 1. Juventus 1, Manchester City 1 as Reinders takes a strike into the side net, and he wanted in the corner there, but only a goal kick has been given. There's Reinders not happy that wasn't given as a corner. As we look at this again from this angle, I'm not sure if he does take a deflection. I think he may have just took a little deflection, but I don't think that from the position the referee was in, I don't think he would have been able to sit in. I don't think the linesman could sit either. There's Arsene Wenger, Gianni Infantino sat at the side of from an Arsenal man. in the crowd there in this game in Orlando in the Camping World Stadium, where Juventus 1, Manchester City 1 is the latest score. If you're just joining, it was an opening goal of the game from Manchester City through Jeremy Doku in 9 minutes before Koeman equalised on 11. Man City 1, or Juventus 1, Man City 1, as we played 14 and a half minutes in this game as City concede a free kick there, foul in the middle of the park on the number 5, Locatelli, the captain of Juventus today. Captain for Man City is Bernardo, who wears number 20 for Manchester City. As a cross-field pass from Juventus fans, Costa, back he goes to Kalulu, back he goes in favour to Savannah, who just keeps hold of possession well as City will try and cause a few problems now for Juventus as the ball has worked its way through to Bernardo Silva and through towards Omar Mamouche, just cut out there well as that ball was destined for the Man City strike up until Lloyd Kelly read the danger well and came across to help his defensive partners out to clear the ball to safety. Rodri infield, then to Reinders. Reinders out wide to that far side of Nunes. On to Savinho. Reinders out of the penalty area. Back he goes to Nunes just on the edge of the penalty area. The bad does Nunes. It's time from Reinders. Back to Reinders it goes. Out wide to Savinho this time though. Savinho does well. Back in field there to Reinders once more. Savinho, good bit of movement here from Manchester City to get the shape well. And it remains Juventus 1, Man City 1 if you're just tuning into his ears. Doku gets beyond his man. Attacks inside the penalty area. Doku in towards Marmouche is cleared away. Behind for a corner. Kenny back there defending. Marmouche was in there. And Marmouche read that situation well there. Reinders also in there, he almost come to Reinders. And he just applauds the effort. And it will be a corner kick then for Manchester City on the near side from where we attack. And we're looking on as we try and work out who it is. I think it's Bernardo taking this corner from just to our left hand side. And it is Bernardo with a poor corner. And he's cleared away for a throw-in for Man City. Bernardo takes it quickly to Marmouche. Marmouche slims the ball into the penalty area. Will break in there and appeals for handball. Just by Doku, no one else in the sky blue shirt appealing for the handball decision there against the Juventus man. I believe it was Weston McKennie who would have been penalised had that penalty been given for, or decision given for handball in there, but nothing doing according to the match referee. As here comes Bernardo Silva into Nuri, now into Akanji, across to Diaz, as Diaz will look forward. But he has to go back to Akanji this time though, and he's just keeping the ball for Manchester City across then to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva just keeps hold of possession well, and he's doing well here. Bernardo Silva into Nuri. Nuri does well in field to Akanji. Akanji goes there to Diaz. Out wide to Nunes, who tips the ball towards the penalty area, looking for the run there of Reinders. Juventus by there clearing up the danger well and trying to come away with possession, and he's cleared up towards halfway where Nunes finds Diaz, who goes back to Edison, and City tidy up there. So now with Manuel Akanji just move towards halfway, just over halfway of the ball. Excuse me, which was played forward. But Di Gregorio just manages to keep the ball in play. As it's Gundogan, Haaland, Foden, Ortega, Gvardiol watching on. There's Douglas Luiz watching on for Juventus, along with Thuram and Colomboani, I believe it was, sitting near him. Also to us Conceição as well near the Juventus man, who used to play for Aston Villa, Douglas Luiz, linked with a move back to the Premier League this summer to one of the newly promoted sides in the Premier League, as Mendes gives away a free kick to Juventus, foul inside the middle of the park on Dusan Vlahovic, who managed to get away from his man but was still given the set piece as Juventus will fall now on that far side. Attacks in towards the penalty, shot is blocked behind for a corner. Good basic defending from Mateus Nunes out there. He's done really well up against his man, and he was up against number 18 Kostic this time, who was playing from on the left wing back role, and he likes to get up and down the pitch, does for the Kostic for Juventus. Ward Kelly is watching on here for Juventus. He makes a mark in towards the penalty area this time. It's over his head there, and he's now back here with Locatelli to Kalulu. Kalulu out wide to that far side, and Kostic. I guess they're all four looking towards Weston McKennie, but he goes out for a throw in to Juventus. Now Weston McKennie will look to take it. He goes backwards to Lloyd Kelly as Juventus just tied up on halfway. There's Locatelli, who can send the ball forward as the offside flag go up there against Nico Gonzalez. He will, and City have a free kick there as we approach 21 minutes on the clock, and Juventus lead by a goal to nil. Juventus are currently drawing 1-1 momentum, should I say, after Doku's opener was cancelled out by Kool Miners just a couple of minutes later, 9 and 11 minutes respectively. 4 goals, as you can see on the bottom of your screen. Warm evening here in Orlando as we see Juventus 1, Manchester City 1. Ederson with the ball played forward in towards the City man there as a ball is played forward. Wait for Jeremy Doku, and he gets the ball for Doku. How wide it goes to Marmoush, who runs into towards the penalty on the left hand side. Back it goes to Aiden Nuri. Inside to Rodri. And Rodri, is he fouled? The referee says yes. Free kick to City. In a dangerous position. Could be a cross or a shooting opportunity here, whichever the citizens decide to take on there. Up against the old lady Juventus. It remains Juventus 1, Man City 1. If you're just tuning into us here, and Clement Turpin is, I'd have to say he's refereeing quite well so far in the early exchanges of the game. It remains 1-1 between Juventus and Manchester City in the Club World Cup. In Orlando's Marmoush will line up a free kick straight into the wall, and the man gone down inside that was in that wall there, blocked it via the head. I'm trying to work out who it is who's down here for Juventus. Can't see his number on his shirt here or his shorts. Just trying to work out who it is from those that were stood in the wall. There's Weston McKennie and his teammates just take on a bit of fluids. Just looking at this again, and it's can't see the number there. Let's have a look this time. It's number 37 who's gone down after the ball struck his head. Nicolo Savona, who is down here for Juventus. Just managed to see his number there. Who remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 1 in the Club World Cup. Toure on the citizens' bench, walking out some instructions, along with Pep Guardiola, as the players just have a drink here. It's the unofficial cooling break. Because normally these Club World Cup matches there will be cooling break. The referee across there He's having a word with Pep Guardiola. As Pep wants to have a word with the ref to find out why. Well, it was the official that were having a word with him as Stefan gets to get back underway. He wants to find out why he was stopped, and in the end there was you need to ask the question why. You could just see it. The ball struck him in the face. Head injuries means games need to be stopped. As now the ball will come forward here from Manchester City. As is Marmouche on the ball. He's got Doku out wide on this near side, the left into the penalty area. Doku goes up to Rodri, shut his block. Rodri shut his block too. To Nunes on that far side. Here he is now, the Portuguese. Out wide to the far side, and Savinho. Savinho will attack the penalty area. Good ball. Bernardo Silva, low cross in, and it's turned into his own net by Kalulu, and Manchester City have scored again. And it's an own goal this time from the Juventus number 15. Kalulu pushed it through his own net. And Juventus, having came back to level terms, Kalulu has put through his own net. And Manchester City are back to the lead. And Manchester City back in the lead here. And it's come from there. Juventus man Kalulu who turned the ball into the back of his own net. And Kalulu has helped City retain the lead against Juventus. And you've got to say, that was a gift, if there ever was one. On 26 minutes, Kalulu put through his own net there and gave Citizens the lead in this game. And now City could potentially extend their lead even more if they can get this next attack right. As they're coming forward again, here's Marmouche on the edge of the penalty area. It's crowded out now as Juventus will bring this ball away. Now Juventus have to get it right here, but Juventus are now back, trailing again. Kalulu put through his own net. And it's now Man City, Juventus 1, Man City 2 inside the 27 minutes of this game. It was a goal from Doku on 9 minutes for just joining us. Kuman has equalised on 11, and then Kalulu just put through his own net to make it Juventus 1, Manchester City 2 at the Club World Cup this evening. And you've got a feel for Kalulu there. He was trying to clear the ball away, and he could only divert it into the back of the net. He went with the wrong foot there, I believe, in my opinion. If he'd gone with his other foot there, he would have put that right side of the post and down for a corner. He went with his wrong foot, and that's what made it go into the back of the net there. And Juventus, who have been really good in this tournament defensively up to now, are playing some good football. But Man City all leading and are on course to get 3 wins out of 3 in the group stage, the Citizens, and go through as group winners, with Juventus finishing second in Group G. As City come forward, is Nunes out wide for Doku on that far side. Good bit of player forward City into Bernardo. Bernardo, Reinders, Reinders. And Reinders charging forward, can't pick out Savinho, out wide from Nunes to Doku. Doku with possession. Out wide Savinho will look to get the ball into the penalty area. Is Juventus 1, Man City 2. Ball well driven in towards the penalty area, cleared away from danger. Nunes is there. Out wide to Doku. On that far side, Savinho's there this time as well. Back to Nunes though. Into Rodri. Forward into Marmouche. Back to Nunes. Now Rodri once more. Nunes again. How wide is Doku? Jeremy Doku takes on his man, going one way, then the other. Back to Nunes this time. Nunes forwarding towards the penalty area. Can City get the third before half time? As trying to go on the overlap was Nunes there, but City have got the ball back. Is Diaz forward into Reinders. Reinders does well, and he turns away this time from his man and finds the ball out wide to Nuri, who's already got an assist tonight in this game. He assisted Jeremy Doku for the opening City goal in the game before Koeman has equalised. And then an own goal from Kalulu from City back into the lead against Juventus. Here's Nuri. Goes in field. Back out wide to Doku. We're back onto this left hand side. Here's Reinders now on the edge of the penalty area. Left hand side. Shot comes in from Mamush. Straight down the floor there as he was diving across to his left hand side. Back for the Juventus man. He made that save there. Di Gregorio, and remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 2. As Dusan Vlahovic wins his side a free kick. Has gone now is for a throw in. And the referee has now stopped the play in this game as it's now the cooling break time in the Club World Cup. And we're at the first cooling break of the game in the Club World Cup. Is Juventus 1, Man City 2. So let me just recap what has happened. And if you've only just joined us, City leading by 2 goals to 1, as you can see on your screen in the top corner. And it was Doku open that's going after a brilliant ball through from Ed Nuri as he cut in field past Kalulu and benched into the 4 corner to give City the lead. And then just a couple of minutes later, Koeman has finished off a wonderful, well-worked move for Juventus to get them back on level terms to make it 1-1. However, just a few moments ago, 26 minutes to be precise, Kalulu put through his own net, and Juventus against Manchester City is now 2-1. As we've just seen the goals again, brilliant save there from Doku, cut inside from Kalulu and finished off well into the bottom corner beyond the stretch of Di Gregorio into the back of the Juventus net. And now at the other end, he was Enzo tried to play the ball out, gave the ball away to Koeman, who finished off well underneath the goalkeeper to make it 1-1 on 11 minutes. 26 minutes, there was a ball in from Matheus Nunes, found the foot of the Juventus man, Kalulu, who made it 1-2 in favour of the citizens at the Club World Cup. Juventus just finished off there. Brings break, City still having their cooling break, as we're still on our cooling break at this moment in time, so we're having a cooling break as well ourselves. It is a warm day here in Orlando, and it's Juventus 1, Man City 2. In the Club World Cup. Let me just tell you while we wait for the cooling break to be over, as we nearly are over from the cooling break right now. I'll just tell you what the latest is in the other match in Group G and what that means for the table. In Group G, it is still Wydad 1, Al Ain 0. So what that means for the Club World Cup Group G standings, as we go ready to see what the standings are for you. City are top on 9 points, 3 wins out of 3, 10 goals for, 1 against, as we watch City tied up at the back here through Diaz, as City just keeping the ball well here. Ruben Diaz with possession as he tries to clear the ball away, does so this time to Nunes, and Nunes wins his side a free kick. Gossage apologises to Ruben Diaz. Juventus are second on 6 points, 2 wins and a defeat, 10 goals for, 3 against. This is his only goal against in this competition has come against Juventus. Wydad are in third on 3 points, 1 win, 2 draws, 2 goals for, 6 against. And Alpine are bottom, no wins, no draws, 3 defeats, 0 goals for, 12 against now in the Club World Cup. We are back underway in the game again as a throw-in for Juventus will be taken. It remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 2 as Juventus win themselves a throw-in. Locatelli takes it quickly towards Weston McKennie, who gets it to Lloyd Kelly, who loses out to Omar Mamouche, who's done really well out there tonight, all this afternoon, all this morning, depending where you are tuning in from. Really good to have you with us for the Club World Cup between Juventus and Manchester City. Here's Juventus 1, Man City 2. If you're just tuning in to us here on the commentary of Russ Vernon, guiding you through the action for this Club World Cup match this evening as we watch this game unfold this evening. As here comes City with Doku over on that far side as he breaks in towards the penalty area. Jeremy Doku round one way, takes it round the man, he's cleared away, and it remains Juventus 1, Man City 2 is the latest score in the Club World Cup. City pull the ball in again. Nuri was to deliver the ball into the penalty area. Comes out to Nunes, across to Savinho, back it goes to Ruben Diaz, into Rodri, who's picked up possession now. Bernardo, out wide to Doku. Good footwork this from Manchester City to keep possession and try and tire Juventus out a lot more than tire out themselves are by running around a lot more. City with a bit more possession control, 63% compared to Juventus' 30%, 7% in the middle of the park. As we watch this game on Juventus 1, Man City 2 is the scoreline thanks to goals from Doku and an own goal from Kostic. No, not Kostic. Kalulu, should I say. After Koeman is equalised for Juventus. Juve 1, Man City 2 as the ball is over on that far side. He's cut down here. Now this will be a free kick for Juventus, which have taken very, very quickly and gone with the game. Juventus 1, Man City 2 is the scoreline here at the Camping World Stadium in Orlando, where Juventus 1, Man City 2 is the scoreline as Kalulu gets it round the corner there for McKennie. Now on to Costa, back to Kalulu again, but Costa was flagged offside as he received the ball back from Weston McKennie, and remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 2 is the latest score. We see the ball there again, and I don't think Weston McKennie was offside. I think that's what we're giving offside against Weston McKennie. I don't feel like Weston McKennie was in an offside position there as City going with a free kick as Akanji finds the goalkeeper Ederson. And Ederson will find Akanji, gets the ball forward up towards Jeremy Doku, who's backing with the ball there. Mamouche from there too. City now have possession with a cross-field pass looking for Savinho. Can the players gain inside the penalty area to support him? Savinho going on his own, and he has to go on his own for a moment there. And brilliant effort from Savinho, just a comfortable save in the end from Di Gregorio in the Juventus goal, but City causing more likely to get the next goal compared to Juventus in the next goal. But Juventus have gifted City possession. And it's Omar Mamouche with the ball. He attacks towards the penalty area, finds Doku. A bit of movement here from Doku in towards Nuri. Now on to Rodri. Goes back now as City keep hold of possession. Now here's Doku. Can he take on his man Jeremy Doku here? Right. One way then the other. Jeremy Doku does really, really well. He knocks the ball back to Akanji. City just keep hold of possession as we come towards the final 5 minutes of the first half, where it remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 2 here in the Club World Cup. On the commentary, Russ Vernon guiding you through the action this evening for the game between Juventus and Manchester City. Juventus 1, Man City 2 is the latest score. If you're only just joining us this evening, here comes the citizens again as they play ball forward. The City will travel forward here and it's gone out wide into the path of Doku. He's got Reinders infield, Nuri infield with him as well. What can Doku do here now? He drops it back into the path there of Nuri. Nuri will look up and play an E1-2 with Ryan, play the ball into Reinders. I'll wind out to Doku. Doku back inside to Nuri, plays a 1-2 with Doku. Back now to Akanji. Across the midway inside the Juventus half to Diaz, further out wide to Nunez, who obviously further out wide there as well. Here's Savinho with possession, and Savinho drops the ball back. He's got the ball back against Savinho, works in towards the penalty area. Still going, City with the ball, Reynolds chips it back. Doku right back as a shot comes in and a fantastic save was Nuri with the effort. Fantastic save that by Gregorio. Saw that very, very late. And City will come forward again here towards the penalty area. Pulls the ball back. Bernardo Silva rolls it back to the edge of the penalty area. City coming forward again here now. Remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 2 is the latest score as the rain is beginning to fall here in Orlando. And towards the penalty area. Shot blocked. It goes behind. It will be the corners. You see Pep Guardiola with rain spots on his shirt as he shot into the ground by Nuri. Forced that save from Di Gregorio just a few moments ago. And Nuri is looking strong out there for Manchester City this evening. Could be a weapon for them going forward. And could be a big blow for Wolves as they try and do what they did last season and stave off relegation and stay in the Premier League for yet another time around. The corner then for City will be taken on that far side. He's looking towards the penalty area from Nunez. He's looks to get the ball back. As City will look to attack over on that far side. There's a cross in towards the penalty area. Too much on that as we played, which was 42 minutes on the clock, and inside the final 3 minutes of the game is Juventus 1, Man City 2, as the rain continues to fall down here between Juventus and Manchester City. Both teams continue to play on as we come towards the end of this first half. Juventus 1, Man City 2, and some of the as we're trying to try and move a bit further higher up and underneath the stands if they can here. Man City with possession, they're knocking the ball around well. No going off for the storm just yet, and the rain, and with City out there playing some decent football. As Juventus 1, Man City 2 out here in Orlando. City coming with the ball forward. Savinho trying to go on the end of this ball forward. Di Gregorio is out there to clear the ball away. City with possession on halfway. City fans just making their way towards the drier parts of the stadium if they can find any. As Doku looks to cut in field and he wins his side. And free kick is the rain continues to team down here between Juventus and Manchester City. Juventus 1, Man City 2 is the latest score. Will City find the third goal before half time as the rain falls here in Orlando? Will the surface now make it harder for the goalkeepers to save shots from distance, which you would think he normally would do with the rain on the pitch? And these two European giants are continuing to play on here, not stopping the game as some games have had to do due to the weather. But here in the match this evening between Juventus and Manchester City. Man City are leading by 2-1 at the Camping World Stadium as we enter the final minute of the 90 with Adatudo just watching on for Juventus as he tries to bark out some instructions for his side. I got Tudor, and it's Juventus 1, Man City 2 is the latest scoreline. If you're just tuning into us here this evening, we're spending guiding you through the action as we come towards the end of the first period, as City will try and extend their lead just before they go for that first half break, as they ball in towards the penalty area. The shot blocked as Savinho tries to get the ball into the penalty area. McKennie was blocking it there as we 70 minutes to stop time will be, as Nunes takes a throw in as we're into 4 additional minutes at the end of the first period. 4 added on at the end of the first half as Doku with possession now on the near side will attack. He breaks in towards the penalty area. Doku will counter the ball with it. They knew they're trying to help him out, but here comes City with the ball falling. He's just cleared out of play for a throw in as Pep Guardiola claps Akanji there, helped out Nuri on the cover there as he had to push forward or come inside to watch Kalulu. The central defender watched the danger and read the danger well to come across there. Manuel Akanji to tidy up and got the applause of his manager Pep Guardiola. This evening it remains Juventus 1, Man City 2. If you're just tuning into us here on the Commentary Hub this evening, we're spending guiding you through the action. We've played just over a minute of the first half in terms of stoppage time, and Man City still lead by 2-1 thanks to goals in the first half through Doku and an own goal from Kalulu. Man City will try and add a third as Savinho works his way into the penalty area. Pulls the ball back to Nuri. Goes to Reinders on this near side. He goes to infield Reinders. A bit of movement here from City as Doku helps City keep the move alive into Diaz, who will look forward here. Diaz and goes to the right back there. Mateus Nunes, who was a midfielder by trade when he joined Manchester City from Chelsea, but now Chelsea Wolves will say Mateus Nunes. But now he's a defender. As Akanji gets the ball forward, as City just moved out to this near side, and there is a Nuri infield to Malmouche now, rolling towards a Nuri inside the penalty area. Nuri's cross there, and he watches City winning throwing. Thanks to Kelly clearing the ball into touch for City's throwing. It remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 2. If you're just joining us here on the Commentary Hub, we're spending guiding you through the action as we see this game unfold. It's Juventus 1, Manchester City 2. If you're just tuning into us here this evening, we'll keep you up to date with the other game at half time before we go for our break in just a moment or two's time. Here comes Juventus gaining numbers, making sure City can't get an extra goal just before half time as we come towards the final minute of the first half. But City win the ball back into the penalty area. Ball cleared away by Locatelli, only as far as Reinders. And Reinders lined up a strike just wide of the target. It was Marmouche, in fact, who had the effort, and Marmouche fired a shot just wide of the target there. And so unlucky he was in the end there, the City man, and released a shot, and it was a fingertip save in the end by Di Gregorio, who pushed the ball to safety, I believe. That's what City fans are claiming. And players, as the City fans just celebrating out there. The rain is still teeming down. There will be a corner kick for Manchester City at the end of this first half. It was a poor corner as he's will be on for yet another corner kick. As we see again, it was Mamouche who was out there, I believe, to say that corner. Rodri inside the penalty area. Doku and Kanji Diaz. Savinho, Nunes in there. Kanji heads it down, cleared away off the line. And he's cleared off the line just as the half-time whistle goes in this game, in the match between Juventus and Manchester City in the Camping World Stadium. And it's Juventus 1, Manchester City 2 at half-time. If you're just joining us this evening, was a opening goal of the game, well taken by Jeremy Doku before Koeman has equalised after Edison gave the ball away to him. But then just before half-time on 26 minutes, Kalulu pumped the ball into his own net as he tried to clear it across, which was put across the face of the goal in the end by Mateus Nunes. It was at half-time in our match. It's Juventus 1, Manchester City 2. In the other game taking place this evening in Group G in the Club World Cup, it is Wydad 1, Al Ain 1. We've come towards the end of the first half there. So that what that means for the table, as it stands right now at half-time, is City who go through as group winners. Juventus in second on 6 points, also going through, with Wydad and Al Ain on 1 point respectively, and Wydad finishing third, Al Ain finishing fourth in the Club World Cup Group G encounter. But half time in our match, it's the Citizens who have the lead at the break. It is Juventus 1, Man City 2. Join me back in about 15 minutes' time for the start of the second half. Welcome back to the second half coverage of the game between Juventus and Manchester City. Both teams are going through from Group G, but as it stands, is Manchester City will be going through as Group G winners, with Juventus coming second as we get ready for the start of the second half in the game this evening. As we get ready for the second half, that at the bottom of our scoreboard there was just the end of the first half. The officials are just making their way back out onto the field. Commentators and the Frenchman leading out those officials this evening as we almost get ready for the second half. I wonder if there'll be any changes at half time to tell you about in this game this evening, and we'll keep you updated with the other game in the group this evening between Wydad and Al Ain, which is currently locked at 1-1. The City players just about to come back out onto the field of play. The start of the second half, Juventus already back out there. It's currently 1-1 at half time in the other game between Wydad and Al Ain in Group G. So what that means for the group as it stands with the score here, 2-1 to Manchester City. Man City finishing top on 9 points. Juventus finishing in second on 6 points. Wydad in third. Al Ain on bottom, both on a point each, respectively. As we're about to get ready for the second half to get underway. Some City fans out there just watching on as City are about to bring on Erling Haaland. He looks like maybe coming on very, very shortly for Manchester City. He's got his shirt on, just needs to get his shorts on if he's going to come on at half time. Just wait for the see if he is or whether he's getting ready to come on now, whether we're going to wait and see on in a few moments' time. In fact, he has got his shorts on. We'll just wait to see who's coming off here for Erling Haaland, and I can tell you that is Omar Mamouche who has been replaced by Erling Haaland at the start of the second half. No change for Juventus at the start of the second half as we get ready to get the second half off and underway in the Club World Cup. We're sitting to get the second half off and underway then, with the ball going all the way back towards their goalkeeper, I would imagine. And we are now underway in the second half of the Club World Cup match, Juventus against Manchester City. If you're just tuning into us, Juventus are trailing by 2-1. Doku and an own goal from Kalulu either side of Kumana's goal for Juventus as we back underway in the second half. Commentator is myself, Russ Vernon, for this game today. We'll keep you updated with the result of the other game a bit later on, and we'll give you the lineups again at the start of the second half. Shortly as I can, just to give the ball into midfield for Rodri to play out to this near side for Nunes to get the ball forward. It was actually Diaz getting the ball forward, and it's Bernardo Silva now charging forward. He's got Savinho on the outside, and Savinho across. Haaland can't get there. There was an immediate impact from the Norwegian. Had he got something at the end of that cross into the penalty area, but good first start by Manchester City there. Brilliant ball down the line from Bernardo Silva into Savinho, cross, and Haaland just can't get there. And Doku would hung back rather than trying to get into the middle as well, and he gone to the far side. May have got something on that for City there to have them extend their lead at the start of the second half. As that's running through the sides, and Juventus Di Gregorio, Kelly, Savannah, Kalulu across the back, Kostic, McKennie, Locatelli in costume midfield with Koeman, Lajovic and Gonzalez in the attacking line. Free kick here for Juventus, but Gonzalez just continues with the ball anyways. He got up and found Costa on that far side. Back to Gonzalez again inside on the penalty on the far right hand side. Costa. side a free kick at the start of the second half. Let's read through the City side. Then it's Edison in goal, Nuri, Diaz, Akanji, Nunes, Rodri in front of the back four, Doku, Reinders, Bernardo Silva, and Savinho. And now leading the line is Erling Haaland up front for Manchester City this evening. The referee, just to remind you, is Clément Turpin from France. Video assistant referee Jerome Brissard, also from France. As we are underway in the second half, if you're just showing it to us here on the commentary, Russ Vernon getting you through the action as we have played just over 2 minutes of the second half. It's Juventus 1, Manchester City 2 as they will look to come forward here now. Manchester City down the line is Haaland, who does well to maintain possession for the citizens. Nunes infield to Reinders, onto Dirk, who's cutting from the left hand side, and he attacks the central space. Dirk into Haaland, back here towards Doku again, cleared away this time by Juventus at the back through Kelly, I believe that was tying up there. Savannah was back there helping out too. City have won the ball back in his hand wide with Nuri on that far side. Into Rodri, back to Nuri again. Goes back this time to Akanji. Manuel Akanji just watches on and will play the ball across to Ruben Diaz. Diaz to this near side and Bernardo Silva. Back to Diaz again. Just around on halfway. Plays it infield to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva takes a touch inside the centre circle this time. Now comes out in centre circle towards his right hand side, where he finds Nunes, who drops it back to Diaz, who charges forward. Across to Manuel Akanji, out wide to Jeremy Doku, who's got Nuri on the overlap. But he goes back inside to Akanji, and with the ball forward, looking for the run there on Reinders. Not too much on that ball forward there, and it remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 2 in the Club World Cup game this evening. Man City leading thanks to the goals in the first half from Doctor Winner, one goal from Kalulu, either side of the goal from Coon Miners. If you're just tuning into us today, we really do appreciate you having along with us. If you're tuning for the very first time today, why don't you do us a big, massive favour? Hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button as well, and make sure you share the channel to your friends. Here's Doc, who comes in and just fires over the top of the crossbar and wide. Brilliant cut infield from Jeremy Doku, but just the execution wasn't there at the end. A good play initially from Doku as he cut infield really, really well, but the shot just went wide in the end. I was wide, but also answering in the end there. There's brilliant cut infield from Kalulu by Doku, past Kalulu, and he just put the ball wide there, and remains Manchester City, Juventus 1, Man City 2 as Juventus try and play out from the back as Pierre Kalulu just clears the ball downfield, but City have won the possession back as City, as it stands right now, going through as group winners. Juventus in second, Wydad and Al Ain finishing third and fourth respectively. What you need to know, these two sides are going through. City top, Juventus in second as it stands right now. Well, if Juventus were to score and get an equaliser, it would be those who go through as group winners, and City in second as the ball is played into the penalty area and across, and Haaland has made it 3-1, and Manchester City have probably now secured all 3 points in the game. It's Erling Haaland who's doubled City's lead now to 3-1, and Manchester City on 52 minutes through Erling Haaland, who came off of the bench at half time, and he has just secured the victory, I would have to say now, for Manchester City. 33rd goal of the season for Erling Haaland, and the son of Alfie Inga has extended City's lead. brilliant bit of play. And it's a fantastic ball across from Savinho. And his onside there is he was Nunes who played it across, and Haaland was onside. He just hit Erling Haaland there, but Haaland it was who put the ball into the back of the net. And inside 7 minutes of the second half, City have extended their lead. It's Manchester City who've now got a 3-goal lead in this game. Is Manchester City who lead by 3-1. 52 minutes. The goal has been timed out for Erling Haaland in the game there, as City have now extended their lead at the start of the second half. As City just keeping possession at the back as they will try and come forward. And it remains 3-1. If you're just showing into us, Haaland just made it 3-1. Here is City just keeping hold of possession at the back and trying to work out a move which will see City cause Juventus a number of problems in this game this evening, as City will look to bring this ball forward. Here's Matheus Nunes infield. It goes as Bernardo finds Rodri to Reinders, back to Rodri again, who finds a Kanji this time with possession as City coming forward. Nice and easy move around for Manchester City just to keep hold of possession and wear them way for this Haaland. Good ball in there, and it comes towards Haaland again. Cut out by Rodri as he tried to play through to Haaland. Reinders was in there too, and it remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 3. If you're just tuning into us here on the Commenttary Hub, Russ Vernon guiding you through the action for this Club World Cup encounter between the two sides. And what a game this has been thus far between the two sides as City come forward again. Here is the number 26 Savinho in towards the penalty area. He goes, but it's cleared away, and Juventus can't take it in their stride this time, and remains 3-1 to Manchester City, who have got a resounding lead now over Juventus in the Club World Cup Group G match this evening. As the Juventus trying to come forward with possession this time, trying to spread it out wide to this near side, and they can't do that, and Nunes just watches the ball go behind there as he remains 3-1 to Manchester City against Juventus in this Group G encounter this evening. Is Man City, who are leading here and leading comfortably in the end, and Haaland there just having a chat with Bernardo Silva. That was just after his goal this evening, and he remains 3-1, and Haaland's in behind again here. Erling Haaland, it was the penalty area, still going Haaland. Good defensive work in the end, and Manchester City just tidying up well then. If Haaland had got through there and extended their lead, it would definitely be game over in terms of the contest. Now, as Juventus have made a substitution, as Costa is making way off of the field. He's trying to see who's coming through, coming off. He's going to find Locatelli to be replaced by Thuram, and Yildiz is also coming on here. In the game is Locatelli, Costa and Koeman coming off. And coming on in their places will be Thuram, Cambiasso and Yildiz. So City are Juventus are making the triple change now, and City have only made one. In this one, you can make 5 substitutions, like any domestic competitions in the Premier League, the FA Cup, Carabao Cup in England, or Serie A in Juventus' case. With Juventus now having work to do to get back into this game this evening, as they're trying to come forward now, as these Yildiz, who did well against Wydad the other day. Another one who impressed me the other day against Wydad, as City will look to cause a number of problems here now, and it remains Juventus 1, City 3 is the scoreline if you're just tuning into us here this evening. As the shot comes in from the edge of the penalty area from Juventus, and he just went wide, and it's the substitute, I believe, Yildiz, with his first real effort to goal there since coming on, and he just dragged his effort wide. There did Yildiz, and it remains 3-1 to Manchester City if you're just tuning into us this evening here on the commentary. Russ Vernon guiding you through the action. If you're listening via my Twitch channel and you're thinking, I don't want to miss this game, but I want to go out tonight, or I'm about to go out to the shops in the car, but I want to listen to the coverage of the Juventus Man City game here with the team of the Commenttary Hub, then I can tell you what you need to do. What you need to do is head over to if you're using the app on your mobile phone for Twitch, just change it so you just get audio only. Connect your car up to your phone as if you would do if you're putting by Bluetooth, if you're putting music on, and listen to the coverage there as like you would do a normal radio station, or like you would do your own music from your phone in your car, and you'll get us instead of what you normally would listen to, doing it that way. There is this man down here for Juventus. Just couldn't work out who it is who's down here. And I'll just get some instructions here from Pep Guardiola. But as it stands right now, Manchester City lead by 3-1. Goal scorers in the game are that over. For Juventus, Koeman, and for Manchester City is Doku, Kalulu own goal, and Haaland as the substitution here for Juventus. He's number 37, Savannah, be replaced by number 4, Gatti. City still lead by 3-1, and Savannah doesn't look very, very good here. The way his ankle went down after challenging with Haaland a few moments ago, and he looks like he's come off worse, the central defender for Juventus. Juventus 1, Man City 3 is the latest score if you're just running into us right now. Mateus Nunes with the throw and gets the ball back from Bernardo. Where does he want to go with the ball in? Bernardo is down here for City. And there's a referee giving a free kick here for Manchester City. I believe he has. Bernardo just limping a little bit here and walking very, very gingerly. As we watch this game move, go on here, as we see the ball around the corner there, and it's a little stamp on the foot by Thuram, which those kind of ones are painful, to say the least. And it remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 3 at the Club World Cup. As it stands, City going through as group winners. Juventus finishing in second place in Group G. Here's Nunes with the ball across there. Roger just gets around the corner. It's into Nuri this time though. And Nuri goes down to Thuram and wins his side. A free kick right there, Nuri there. Winning City a free kick. Juventus 1, Manchester City 3 is the latest scores received the foul again on Aiden Nuri. It was 2-1 with the foul, and that's the second foul he's done in this game. And the City bench are not happy that it's being allowed to be the second foul they can do without picking up a yellow card here. No yellow cards so far tonight, which is always good to see if you're commentating or even just watching as a spectator. Nice clean game in terms of the challenges, just where they have free kicks. As Bernardo gets the ball out wide to Doku from that free kick, and Doku goes to the field. Low driven shot from Doku over on that far side. Doku back there to retain possession for Manchester City, but did the ball go out of play? I'm not sure. I think he might have been a foul against Jeremy Doku there, as Doku having a word with the referee, which is the Frenchman Clement Turpin. And it remains Juventus 1, Man City 3. As we just watch this again, you know, the flailing arm there from Jeremy Doku is the reason why Juventus got that free kick. But City have won the ball back fairly quickly, as Rodri is now in possession for the citizens. And this is good movement here from Man City. Savinho gets it back now, and he plays it back to Nunes. Infield, it goes there to Diaz. Now back with Bernardo, who's just watching on here as he plays the ball infield. He remains Man City, who lead by 3-1 if you're just running into his ear on the commentary. Russ Vernon guiding you through the action in the Club World Cup game this evening. If you're watching on here on the commentary, really good to have you along with us this evening as we bring you this game as a free kick here. And the first yellow card of the game goes to the man who put through his own net in Kalulu. And Kalulu is the recipient, Pierre Kalulu is the recipient of the first yellow card in our match this evening, and definitely yellow foul on Reinders there, who won his side a free kick. Bernardo sending over this set piece, so to his Reinders. Will Reinders or Bernardo go for goal? They won't be across into the penalty area. We'll have to see in just a second or two as we watch on here. Ball in towards the penalty area and is cleared away. And it remains 3-1 to Manchester City. That says Borden is getting ready for action. Down on the Citizens bench. And he's going to be number 16, Rodri, to be replaced by number 19, Ilkay Gundogan. In the change for Manchester City, Phil Foden also coming on as well. And Phil Foden will replace Jeremy Doku. And Ruben Diaz just having a word there with Phil Foden while we wait for Doku to come off the field. Rodri and Doku off, all confirmed. And on in their places are Ilkay Gundogan and Phil Foden. Juventus 1, Manchester City 3 is the latest scorers. City look to extend their lead as here comes Bernardo in towards the penalty on the right hand side. Ball is played in towards the penalty area for them. Can't get any of that ball inside the penalty area there, and he's now giving a throwing away there, Phil Foden. Juventus have a free kick, have a throw in on the near side. It remains Juventus 1, Man City 3. If you're just tuning into us here on the commentary, Russ Vernon guiding you through the action this evening as we see this game unfold this evening, as Juventus will try and come forward. It's being played through, and we're trying to see a fantastic save by Ederson to deny Dusan Vlahovic. And it remains 3-1 to Manchester City. And as Al Ain have taken the lead against Wydad, their 65 minutes gone. There is 2-1 now. That will mean Wydad finishing bottom and Al Ain finishing in third, with City, as it stands, leading 3-1, finishing in top. Juventus finishing in second, as Bernardo is down on the floor. Here remains Juventus 1, Manchester City 3, as the ball was played forward then City, where the player went down, which was Bernardo Silva. As we just look at the chance again for Juventus, and there was a brilliant save by Edison there to deny Dusan Vlahovic, who tried to chip it over the Brazilian, which has been a good game thus far, as Edison sends that ball long downfield looking for Erling Haaland, who brings it down well and attacks the penalty area. Haaland in towards the penalty through, and will it be number 4? It will be number 4, and it's number 4 from Phil Foden, who has extended Manchester City's lead on 69 minutes. Phil Foden says, I will score, I will make it 4, and with 69 minutes on the clock, I will secure 3 points for Manchester City at the Club World Cup against Juventus. What a fantastic goal that is. Haaland, brilliant run in. He can't get there Foden initially. It comes to Savinho at the back, who rolls it across, and Foden makes it 4-1. 4 different goal scorers now for Manchester City. And Manchester City now have a comfortable lead in the Club World Cup. And it looks like they will be going through as group winners this evening. If you're listening for the very first time and you're listening via YouTube this evening, you could do us a massive favour and listen to while you're listening to the coverage. Just go down below this video, press that big thumbs up to give us a like. Please subscribe. We're have a look together. We're just 9 away from 400 subscribers. Please do us a massive favour and subscribe to the channel, as well as we bring you commentaries like this from the Club World Cup. And we've also brought you some commentaries from the Under-21 European Championships as well. Juventus 1, Manchester City 4 is the latest score in the Club World Cup, as City are just in cruise control now. If you're watching on with us, Doku, Kalulu own goal, Haaland and Foden. Koeman for Juventus. It seems a long time ago, since the 11th minute, when Koeman has equalised for Juventus against Manchester City, but since then, Kalulu own goal, and then 2 goals in the second half. Haaland and Foden, both coming off of the bench. Looks like they're going to be stealing the deal for Manchester City against Juventus, and City just knocking the ball around well, and they can even knock the ball to one side of the pitch when the player is so far up the field near the halfway line, which just happened a few moments ago on this right hand side from Edison to Nunes, and City player could still get that even though he was second favourite, as the ball towards the far side where Savinho has gone over there now since the introduction of Phil Foden. Is going to assist to his name, and this has been a comfortable performance for Manchester City, and it's one which they really do deserve to be winning as well. And you've got to say that City have looked really, really good today. I don't know whether Juventus have just been off kilter and poor have made City look like so good, or whether City have just looked superb tonight. As Nunes gets around the corner towards Phil Foden, can't get there. The score of the fourth City goal. As City will make a double substitution here in a moment. I think one of them looks like is Oscar Bob, I believe, is about to come on. I may stand corrected. If I am, I do apologise, but it did look like Oscar Bob to me. As here comes Gundogan for Manchester City. Goes to Nuri, back to Gundogan again. Now here's the ball out wide to this near side of Nunes. Back in the field to Bernardo. Good movement here as Diaz picks up the ball. Now back into Bernardo once more as he attacks down the right hand side. Ball in field to Phil Foden. Nuri goes to the field and will line up a strike. No. So he goes to Phil Foden, who once was the penalty area. Onto Nunes. Back it goes to Bernardo. Nunes once more. Nunes cuts in field. There's Haaland. Shot from Reinders. That was Haaland. Shot blocked again. And he goes behind for a corner kick here to Manchester City. Really good performance for the shot when just the wrong side of the post. Haaland's deflection effort bounces the wrong side of the post. And he's going to be Bernardo coming off to be replaced by Cherky. And also Nico O'Reilly is the other one coming on, not Oscar Bob. I do apologise. And Nico O'Reilly will replace Ryan A. Nori. So Cherky and O'Reilly on. Bernardo and A. Nuri coming off. City using up all their 5 substitutes now. O'Reilly, Foden, Cherky, Haaland. And Gundogan, as a ball is in towards the penalty area from the aforementioned Gundogan. Back in again by Gundogan towards Haaland. And it's down. Shot saved this time by the goalkeeper. Marlon shot comes back out to the edge of the penalty area. And he's into the back of the net. Savinho has got City's 5th in this game. And with 15 minutes left to play, City have just secured all 3 points and top spot from the group. Savinho with the goal. And Manchester City have just secured all 3 points in the Club World Cup. Fantastic effort on target from Savinho, and sit from the edge of the penalty, just angled it in off the other side of the crossbar. The goalkeeper, Di Gregorio, didn't stand a chance. And Manchester City are leading now by 5 goals to 0. 5 goals to 1, should I say, in this game as we watch on now in the Club World Cup. And what a game and what a performance this has been for Manchester City. And we're now at the cooling break stage in the game as we are on 6, played just over 31 minutes of the second half. Another cooling break. We'll just want you recap you anything that you've missed in this game as we bring you up to date with what's been happening so far. But Manchester City now top spot in the group as we played almost 77 minutes on the clock, and it's 5-1 they lead, and goals have been coming all the game. Really started off back on 9 minutes when Jeremy Durkee opened the scoring for Manchester City. Ruben has equalised on 11, as we just see the goal again from Savinho in off the inside of the crossbar. Superb finish from him. Clue then put through his own net on 26 minutes, making 2-1 to Manchester City. That was the scoreline at half time. Early Allen came off of the bench and just on 52 minutes made it 3-1. Phil Foden on 69 minutes made it 4-1. Savinho on 76 made it 5-1 this evening. And what a performance from Manchester City it has been tonight. As we're back underway then in this Club World Cup. City comfortable leaders as they look to come forward. Juventus trying to get a consolation goal, and the shot is over the top of the bar from Yildiz there, and is really, that is just absolutely superb piece of defensive work from Manchester City to stop them from happening in this game. As we see the game unfold here this evening, is Manchester City lead now by 5 goals to 1 if you are tuning in this evening, and what a game it has been today in the Club World Cup between Juventus and Manchester City. Juventus 1, Manchester City 5 is the latest score. If you're just tuning into us today, really good to have you along with us in from the Club World Cup. And it's been a fantastic match for you to listen to and get to here this evening. With myself, Russ Vernon, able to bring you the coverage of the game as City win the ball back through Nunes, but Juventus have it again and he's out to play for a throw this time. Good game to bring you this evening as City just watching the ball coming forward. We've played 35 minutes of the second half, so into the final 10 minutes of the game. 8 minutes in total. Juventus 1, Man City 5 is the scoreline. And this has been a really, really one-sided affair, if there ever was one, this evening. What a game this has been tonight. And we were able to bring you here. Really good to be able to bring you this one this evening in the Club Cup. Manchester City leading by 5 goals to 1. If you're just tuning into us today, really good to have you along with us as we've played 81 minutes in what has been a very good game of the Club World Cup. Really enjoyed this one. As it's looked for 6th, there no takers from the ball in towards the penalty area. It's got deflected down for a corner. Cherky's ball was in there. And Juventus just looking on as if to say, what else can we do? As they make another change as Weston McKennie is replaced by Azic on 82 minutes. Juventus 1, Manchester City 5 is the scoreline if you're tuning into us here. As Agzic sees a sub that's coming on here as we watch this game unfold. And there will be a corner kick from Manchester City as they look to try and add a 6th goal to their tally as they balls in towards the penalty area, heads away only as far as Savino, and City have it again now with Cherky, and then Cherky towards the penalty. Orland's there, he breaks towards the penalty at the back post. No one in the blue shirt can get there as City try to take advantage as eventually just give the ball in play with Yildiz and gives the ball away towards Matheus Nunes, where a free kick has been given for handball against the City right back as we've played 83 minutes in this game. 38 minutes of the second half gone. Juventus 1, Manchester City 5 is the goal scorer, and Man City finishing top in this group. Juventus in second, Allen in third, Wydad bottom of the group and heading out of the competition. Vlahovic is in behind, and Dusan Vlahovic has scored for Juventus, and it is game on now. The number 9 for Juventus with the goal. And Manchester and Juventus have pulled another one back. They've pulled a goal back here in Juventus. Well taken goal from Dusan Vlahovic on 84 minutes. And that's their second goal of the afternoon, or even your morning, depending where you are tuning from. And Juventus, well and truly beaten tonight with Dusan Vlahovic with the latest goal, 84 minutes. And I can tell you, VAR are checking that goal, so he may not stand in this game. But the goal has been given. The goal will stand. It is 5-2. In this game, as Dusan Vlahovic has made it 5-2 now to Manchester City. What a game this has been. Juventus 2, Manchester City 5 is the scoreline. Here on the country with City win a free kick, foul on Matheus Nunes. But very, very soon I'll be giving you my play of the match this afternoon, or this evening, or this morning, depending where you're tuning in from, and what time of day it is for you out there this evening. Juventus 2, Manchester City 5 is the scoreline, and City have just been in dominant form today. Really good to bring you this game, and you've got to say that anybody would have struggled against this Man City side today. We'd have struggled against them, but only lost 2-0, which was a great performance from Wydad. But Al Ain struggled against them when they got battered by 6-0. And Juventus came battered today by 5-2. And here comes City with possession as they will try and come forward. Cherky out wide to the far side, and Nuri runs down the far side as City will try and deliver one final blow to Juventus and help them go into the knockouts with a even heavier score line and a heavier defeat than just 5-2. And be interested to see whether Juventus can overturn this score line and get this out of their mind pretty quickly in the terms of their next game in the tournament, as they'll be finishing second in Group G and be facing the winners of Group H, which include Real Madrid, Al Hilal, Salzburg, Pachuca already out though. This is Haaland. I believe they're already out though, Pachuca. We'll double check for you at the conclusion of this game. Those games kick off at 2 a.m. UK time, as is Juventus 2, Manchester City 5, and whoever comes up against this Man City side in the next round may be looking at this and saying, why us? Because if they play like they have done tonight, Manchester City, they will be a tough nut to crack, as the Mexican wave is going around the stadium from the supporters. I'll have to do that in a moment when it comes round towards us on this near side as we watch on here. Juventus 2, Manchester City 5 in the Club World Cup. What a game this has been today, as the Mexican wave just reaches us as he makes his way around the stadium. Here is Juventus 2, Manchester City 5 is the scoreline, and Manchester City have just been a dominant force to reckon with, and you've got to say it's a really good performance from the citizens today against the old lady, and City will have a chance to, as the next wave comes back around again near us right now, as the Mexican wave will continue to go around the stadium, and City will try and come forward with possession and try and add more goals in this stadium to their tally at the end of the evening today, as we see Juventus just keep hold of the ball, and we'll be giving you the player of the match in just a second tonight. And I can tell you, will not be a player from Juventus this evening. But I'm just whittling down to I've got two names in my head as we watch the City attack, as they break towards the penalty area. Manchester City towards the box they're going now. Here's Cherky, who's done reasonably well to keep hold of possession, and he's done well to find Reinders, who gets it back to Cherky once more. Now it's Mateus Nunes, who has got 2 assists, so he's up there for contention. He's one of my two that I'm thinking of. I'll take the other one in case I pick the other one. Or as we enter 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the match this evening, and we're going to give you the player of the match next time we get a stoppage in play this evening. As opposed towards the penalty area, City tried to extend their lead as the ball is back with Mateus Nunes. Now it's on with Phil Foden, who attacks the penalty area. Foden, good work here from Foden as Nunes drops it across to Akanji. Now Ruben Diaz, good bit of work here from Manchester City as Reinders now rolls the ball through for Foden. Not can't pick out Haaland, and Juventus just tidy up well, but Haaland's got there again, and he's into Cherky. Shot saved this time by Di Gregorio, and Juventus pull off a save, and if they can get a next goal now, it could be good end to the game as Di Gregorio with a superb save to deny Cherky, and then Kelly got the ball away. The player of the match then goes to number 27, Mateus Nunes of Manchester City. It was a fantastic goal. Well, fantastic 2 assists from Mateus Nunes. Didn't get on the score sheet, but the overall work rate was absolutely fantastic. Mateus Nunes, your player of the match. Today, as Juventus will come forward, tries to make it 5-3, but good defending there by Manuel Akanji. Was in the other one when I said he had two players in mind. He was the other one who's for the Player of the Match award this evening. But Mateus Nunes is the player of the match. We've only had one yellow card all evening, which was to the number 15, Kalulu, who's still out there for Juventus. That's the only yellow card we have had in this game, which is remarkable, to say the least, as we into the final. Less than 30 seconds to go in this game. Juventus 2, Manchester City 5 is the scoreline this evening. If you're just tuning into us here on the Commentary Hub this evening, Man City 5-2 winners, or leaders, should I say, against Juventus. Or should I say 5-2 winners? That shall be, as Manchester City have won by 5-2 in the end. Goals from Doku, Kalulu, Haaland, Foden and Savinho on target for Manchester City tonight. 5 different goal scorers in the end, and City deservedly winners in the end. Fantastic performance from them tonight as they come out on top. Manchester City really do deserve the credit in the end. Fantastic performance and a well taken goals. Koeman has leveled things on that on 11 minutes after Doku opened the scoring. But goals from Kalulu, who put into his own net. Haaland, Foden and Savinho seal the win for Vlahovic. Pulled one back for Juventus in the end of the Camping World Stadium, where in the game that is finished this evening, Juventus 2, Manchester City 5 at the end of this game this evening in the Club World Cup. Fantastic performance from Pep Guardiola's side, who got the victory in the end and ensured they finished top spot in the group at the Club World Cup. Man City plus Juventus to finish top of Group G. And I'll remind you of what that means for the tournament after giving you the full-time score in the other game in Group G between Al Ain and between Wydad and Al Ain. It is 2-1 so far to Al Ain in the 93rd minute of the game. And after the group stages thus far, City the top scorers out of the group stages, and with scoring 13 goals. No one in the later matches can catch them. City's top scorers with 13 goals as they finish on top spot, 9 points from 3 games, 3 victories for them. Juventus in second on 6 points, 2 wins and a defeat. The defeat coming here against Manchester City. Al Ain finishing third on 3 points, and Wydad finishing bottom on a painful 0 this evening. The closing stages of the Wydad Al Ain game is still happening right now. I can tell you that game is still ongoing between Wydad and Al Ain. And in the other game there, is still playing. They played 3 of the 8 minutes of stoppage time in that game. Wydad leading the trailer by 2-1 after taking the lead in this game. And Wydad and Al Ain, they're already going out. They knew they were going out before this game this evening. But I must say, City have been tremendous. Top scorers after the group stage, and they win Group G. But with about 4 minutes left to play in the other game, is Wydad 1, Alline 2, the latest score there. Juventus here in our game thrashed as Man City win the group as group winners with a comfortable 5-2 victory over Juventus. For myself, Russ Vernon, and the rest of the team here, thank you very much for listening. Until then, until our next live offering here on the channel, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you again soon. Take care from the Camping World Stadium in Orlando. Juventus 2, Manchester City 5.